I have to admit, this is a race which should be incredible. If it was great at Cadwell, it should be even better, particularly on a circuit like Silverstone on the national circuit. The last couple of cars getting into position. It's Joseph Loke on pole in the white and blue car on the right-hand side. The blue, red and white car of William Orton. The green flag at the back. Let's go racing with some of the stars of the future. The BRSCC Fiesta Junior Championship racing with MRF tyres. 15 minutes of racing action for these little 4 Fiesta STs. Lights out and we are racing. Decent start from the front row for Joseph Loke. Will Orton hold to the inside line for second place as Loke tries to cover off the lead into Copse Corner for the first time. For third place, it's going to be Joseph Knight who turns in with Jake Weston to his inside. And also I think a great start possibly. It looks like for Jake Triggs. It is in fact Jake Triggs, the Scotsman, up to 5th position. They head out of Copse Corner for the first time. And Joseph Loke, the championship leader, leads the way down towards Maggis and Beckett for the first time. Orton in second. The pack heads down to the complex for third, trying to make a dive up the inside of everyone. Goes Albert Webster in the 2, the AMD car. He was a little too wide. Also running wide is Sid Smith. He comes back onto the road just in alongside Dylan Hotchin. Also Alex Lee running on the exit of Beckett, so they go onto the Wellington straight for the first time. But a nice clean start for all the juniors. Down towards Brooklands for the first time, and it is Joseph Loke who maintains the lead from pole position. It is Orton in second. Third place for Loke's teammate Jake Weston, and that for fourth. Diving up the inside goes Jake Triggs. He's a fantastic improvement in pace over Cadwell. He just slightly edges Joseph Knight out wide. And then Jensen Brickley, who was last year's national mini stocks champion, moving up into junior circuit racing. He's 6th in that beautiful looking blue and yellow machine. Also a good start for Bradley Beavers. He looks to drag out the inside of possibly Jensen Brickley as he ran wide. And also Dylan Hotchin, who was quickest in practice, but had some lap time disallowed, as did several drivers, but they've managed to get over that and move on. So all 15 at the end of first lap, nice and safely. It's Loke who leads the way. Orton second, Weston third, then Triggs, Knight from Brickley and Beavers, then Hotchin, Webster, and it's Sid Smith down to 10th after he started back in 5th. But so far so good, Chaz. All of them through cleanly, and they're showing they've got some great racecraft already. Yeah, definitely. I was very excited to see this, and I know that you were as well. As soon as Scott saw these cars coming onto the grid, he did a little sort of jiggle in excitement just to just to show how excited he was. We've got a little bit of running wide there. That was the number 58, I believe. The 50 of Hotchin. There's my dodgy eye letting me down. But Loke at the moment doing a great job. Just ahead of Orton in second position. The two of them starting to open up a bit of a gap. We're going to move down the inside. Not quite making it work there. That was the number 29 of Beavers. Just trying to have a look. You can see them cocking a wheel on the way into Luffield. Oh, it was actually Hotchin's got a little bit wide, but he's going to get a good run out of Luffield now because he gets a later apex on the exit of the corner. And he's trying to chase him down, but yeah, this the junior championship though. These lot again. I've seen the junior saloon car championship before as well. I've watched these Fiesta juniors. You'd think they've been doing it for their whole lives. You'd think they'd be veteran racers because just the racecraft's phenomenal. It really is. These guys really do get the most out of these 2-litre 4 Fiesta STs. They're pretty much roughly identical spec to the ones you see in the Fiesta Championship. But the difference being is that these cars run an engine restrictor and they run specific junior spec tyres as well, which means that it makes them a little bit slower so that they're not going too quickly. But you can turn this from a junior into a senior car quite simply by going the other way, putting a set of slicks on, taking the restrictor off, and then drivers do keep the same car usually if they're graduating from the juniors. This makes it really nice and cost effective. Yeah. It means that you don't have to go and buy a new car when you're moving up the ranks. Now, interesting enough for the lead then, William Orton in the first of the 2 Ali Rushforth Motorsport cars set the fastest lap of the race, 1 minute 11.505, and he's now on the tail of points leader Joseph Loke. Now at Cadwell Park it was a different story because Joseph Loke took pole by 2 seconds in Cadwell Park and he dominated both races with the fast lap. He took the maximum score of 105 points because you get I think it's 2 points for you get a point for pole position, 2 points for a fastest lap in each race. You get 50 points for a win, so you've got the maximum score. Will Orton, who has been out testing ever since that one, he's been testing out at Brands Hatch and at Blyton Park recently, trying to find a bit more pace. He also gets driver coached, as does his new teammate for this weekend, Alex Lee, by another former Fiesta Junior turned BTCC star Bobby Thompson. So he's been doing them both. Bobby was one of the first few Fiesta Juniors back when it started in 2012, so he's moved up, of course, to become part of the Trade Price Cars one. I think Alex Lee's car looks great with the Trade Price Cars livery on it, which looks absolutely fantastic. There's actually one of the cars in the City Car Cup as well with that livery on. I took a picture of it this morning, and it's great because it's almost like these different variations of the touring car. Well, it's the same livery, but just on different cars, and it seems to suit all of them very well. This is the number 29, just trying to make his way around. Obviously, we saw the 2 of Webster going very deep on that first lap, and he's now trying to recuperate from that little off. Well, it wasn't quite an off, was it? But it was a bit of a wiggle and a bit of a moment, so he's trying to recover from that.
But as we saw in the Civics earlier, it's not that easy to make this room back in a one-make series as well when it's so close. And speaking of so close, this is the number 246 of Brickley trying to get past, or I believe he's trying to defend, because last time across the line, him and Davis were actually the other way around. So this is Davis trying to get the position back. He runs a bit wide, maybe a bit of a touch. He's like, do you like what I've done with my wing mirrors? Check it out, mate. Look at this. We saw a bit of that before as well with the brake lights on one of the cars near the front. It looks like he just held on to that there as Brickley, although I say that, the overlap's still there. I noticed a moment ago as well, around Copse, they're on 3 wheels around Copse, and I mean,
and Brooklands, and Brooklands, they do it through Brooklands as well. I was watching qualifying, they were 3-wheeling through Brooklands.
Being on 4 wheels around Copse is scary enough.
It's fantastic. I should mention George Davis, as we can go back to the leaders here with Loke being still closed in by Orton here. I should mention that George Davis is actually, I'm pleased he's on the grid, because at the end of the qualifying session he had, this is his own words on social media, a catastrophic engine failure, as he has got, it looks like he has still chasing Jensen Brickley, but thankfully the team, since the qualifying session, managed to get that fixed. I'm glad he's back out on the grid. It's good to see a full Crows with juniors in the mix. So the gap now, here we go. Now we've got a 10-second penalty for Bradley Beavers for a false start. So unfortunately, he jumped the start sadly.
This is jumping.
Well, that's Albert Webster in the 2 trying to get back up the inside of Bradley Beavers, but unfortunately because of that penalty, he's been knocked down to 14th place. So he's basically racing for the moment on-track position. As now Webster tries to pull off the switchback, and Beavers might have to open the door here to let him through, or not possibly, because here comes Sid Smith behind him as well. In the 99, he started in 5th position. He's currently running in 8th, so he's trying to climb back up after a bit of a rough start. Up through Woodcote now for the end of lap 5. The lead gap
Smith
is now just
Smith
over
right
a second
behind them. He's trying to just close in as well. He's watching this battle and thinking, could be some freebies here. There you go, look, there is the number 80. 3 wheels through Copse. Fantastic stuff. Shows you how stiff they might be set up as well. I mean, they do bounce around a little bit. I've seen them just bouncing through Luffield. But great cars to watch. Really, really exciting stuff. And again, I come back to the fact that these are junior drivers doing this, and they're putting on touring car-esque performances in a great one-make series. All running wide there. That was Hotchin again, just running slightly wide into Beckett's, I believe. But again, it's trying to get the front-wheel drive car slowed down, not as much weight over the rear, trying to get the front wheels to do everything. It's not easy to do in any stretch of the imagination. As we look now at number 45, that's Weston in 3rd place. Triggs just behind him. Looks like it was a little bit wide there from Weston. And you see a lot of drivers doing this. They take a very early apex. They almost like take a straight line entrance into Luffield, turn in a bit late, but they get a really good slingshot off the corner and as they come past the comms box down here at Woodcote. And in the background as well, I believe that Webster's just getting this done now. You'll see them just come into shot in the background. They're side by side at the moment. There they are at the top of his shot, and they've also got Smith trying to make it 3 wide as well down the straight. He's just getting his nose down the inside. We're looking at Triggs.
It is 3 abreast looking on the cameras just in the background.
Oh, he's gone way off at Copse. I'm not sure which one of them that was. I think it might have been Hotchin. Yeah. It's gone way, way wide, but he's recuperated absolutely fine. But that was brave stuff there from Smith and from Webster.
We'll look back at them in a second. This has got an interesting battle that's been developing here for 3rd place. Dylan Hotchin there. Here's that battle we're looking at. So Bradley Beavers has lost on track 2 spots, because remember he's got that 10-second penalty for a false start.
Second hand.
There's a little bit of trim hanging off the back of Sid Smith's cars. There might have been a little bit of a tiny touch between the 3 of them. It's a great battle. There is also that battle that's been brewing for 3rd place, just in front of the bottom of the camera there. That's between Jake Weston, who's in he's raced elsewhere in junior racing before. They're at it again, 3 abreast into Brooklands corner. They're not shy of going for moves either, these junior drivers. Remember, these are 14 to 17 year olds, and if you're a young karter or a mini stocks racer or a short racer thinking I fancy go at this, if you're at this sort of age, you can get onto the circuits here with a junior license as young as 14 years old. And the great thing about this year's championship is that there's been such a great job being done by Laura Payne and the coordination team of the Fiesta Junior Championship and the BRSCC, is that only 1 driver this year is a carryover from last year. Every single driver on this grid is brand new for this season, whether they've been racing junior stuff elsewhere or it's their first ever season racing, which is brilliant job as we see this battle for 3rd place developing here. So Jake Weston, who already has some experience in junior racing earlier on this season, took a bit of a break to get a bit more tuition. He's now decided to move into the Fiesta Junior Championship, which is brilliant to see. I think that might be the ex-Nathaniel Hodgkiss car. Nat Hodgkiss now racing in British F4 this season with JHR Developments. He's now being chased by, I think, one of his teammate, Jake Triggs, because Race Car Developments, run by David Elsley, have 3 cars this weekend. One of them still leading the way, which is Joseph Loke from Will Orton, and the gap has stayed static at about 1.1 seconds between those 2. This is certainly a brewing fight for 3rd here between Weston, Triggs and then Joseph Knight. Also, car 76, which is Alex Lee's been given a 5-second time penalty for not respecting track limits, because they were warned about that after qualifying, all the drivers, after there were quite a few that had some lap times disallowed. So Alex Lee, I'm afraid, has got himself a 5-second time penalty, which will lose him, pop him down to, I think, behind at least George Davis on the result so far.
Hotchin, by the way, has just dropped a spot to Webster, and Beavers is now ahead of the pair of them again.
That's interesting.
Although, actually, no, Beavers is... Yeah, he is still around. I've just on TSL, he's dropped down actually. Just looked at the screen, but Beavers is now back ahead of the number 2. I was just watching Knight here last time out of. Look at it. It's like the car's twerking on the exit. The back end of it's bouncing around on the exit at Cops.
It's brilliant to watch.
It's hilarious.
It's brilliant to watch, isn't it? And that's just how great these guys are racing so far. But this has been arguably one of the better battles. Also, there's a bigger move up the inside, and Jake Triggs just almost left in the room there, and up the inside goes Joseph Knight. I'm glad to see Joseph Knight's having a better weekend than he had at Cadwell, because he did have some clutch problems, which gave him a bit of an issue in terms of trying to find pace. There's been a bit of a switch around in the background as well, I think, as they come into shot between, on track at least,
still going on it.
Bradley Beavers, Albert Webster and Sid Smith who are in that scrap. And I think also trying to close in too is possibly, I think, maybe as well Liam Brickley, as we see. This is three-wheeling Joseph Knight through Brooklands. This is fantastic to watch. Jake Triggs trying to chase on, and these two will get both their personal best results, because they sort of finished down around sort of towards the bottom of the top 10 at Cadwell, but they've certainly found some great improvements in pace over the few weeks since then. Of course, they were due to race at Anglesey same weekend as the Mazda MX-5s and a couple of other championships, but sadly, due to the Welsh restrictions, they had to move them across originally to the Racer Remembrance event, and of course they've had to look at possible options potentially to get them another a 4th round, maybe later on, but that's still being undecided. So up through Copse Corner.
Beavers and Webster, by the way, just come past again side by side. They both had a bit of a switch back on each other through Brooklands and Luffield. They just kept swapping lines, and through Copse, they've just gone past on the CCTV camera just in front of us here. They were again joined at the hip, the pair of them. We're going to see them come into shot in Beckett's any second now. Get ready, everybody, because here it is. Here they go, and it's just Beavers ahead again. But Webster is stuck to the back of him at the moment. He's actually poking his nose down the inside at Beckett's. A little bit of an overlap as they get on the exit. Hotchin is still dragging that souvenir around with him as well, trying to keep an eye on this. And just behind them as well, don't forget, you've got Lee as well in the number 76, isn't it?
Well, that's Jensen Brickley, because I think Alex Lee has dropped back a little bit, so it looks like he had an issue. Yeah, I think he's dropped behind Jensen Brickley, so Jensen Brickley in the mix now. And this is a battle
Hotchin.
over. With Dylan Hotchin has...
Again, TSL is just it's just tricking me here. It just changed around again.
Well, Dylan Hotchin is still in 6th position. He's a bit of no man's land in 6th position. He's just going past our commentary box now. What we're watching here is effectively the battle for 7th place. Bradley Beavers,
Smith's going slow.
Bradley Beavers on the road is in 7th place. Now, I think he's got his pace back. It might be a little bit of loss of momentum, because he might have missed a gear shift, because these are, of course, manual gearboxes in these cars. You get some drivers that come up either from karting and, of course, even mini stocks as well, who don't have any gears to work with. So one of the first things they have to learn with these cars is to do that. Also, a good battle I'm watching just through our window as well. In two of our newcomers, we've got Alex Sprange and Mitch Marie, who are having a good battle. That's over 13th and 14th place, and having a good battle here for their first race weekend. It's their first ever race weekend, full stop, no karting, no previous short ovals, and they're getting out there having a good little battle amongst themselves, which is brilliant. So this is an on-track scrap here, again, between Bradley Beavers, who has got that 10-second penalty for a false start, which means that, yes, on the road he is in 7th place, but he's better behind them. So this is simply just an on-track battle here, and really what Webster wants to try and do is to try and see if he can clear Bradley Beavers here to get through. Otherwise, he might come under threat from Jensen Brickley. We've got just under 2 minutes to go. Leaders are coming up through Woodcote.
Battle for 3rd is still very close as well. You've got Weston still trying to hold on from Knight and Triggs, and Knight is putting the pressure on. You can see here as they go around Woodcote. Another time, just trying to get into that slipstream. We'll see once again what Knight can do. Weston there feeling the need to go slightly defensive. Goes towards the inside a little bit. Tucks it in there is the white number 45 car. I took a nice picture of that car this morning. It's one of the cleanest looking cars out there, let me tell you. The three of them all tucked up together though as they go down towards Beckett's. And when you're under pressure from a driver behind, going into somewhere like Maggots and Beckett's like this is so nerve-wracking, because you've got so much to do while trying to keep them behind and keep an eye on any lunges they get. But that's a really good run through there by Knight. But look also at Triggs just behind now. He actually lost a little bit of momentum last time round. He's gained it all back again now, and he's right back in the fight.
I should mention, if you've seen the yellow squares with the black cross. That means that they've all done less than 6 races, competitive races. So pretty much apart from Joseph Loke, they are all on novice crossing, which means that even more special to see them racing like this. They're going back to their karting days, they're going side by side and just using those kind of karting ways of getting momentum and slipstreaming and trying to switch backs. And Jake Triggs look up the inside. There's a little bit of contact as Triggs edges him out wide. I'm not sure Joseph Knight will really appreciate that. The stewards might have to take a look at that possibly, but they're going to come across the line to start the last lap of this first race of the weekend for the Fiesta Junior Championship.
I think Knight maybe just came back onto the racing line at Luffield to try and get the cut across, and there was a bit of a tuck in, let's say, but it was a bit hard to tell from that angle because of obviously we were directly opposite and sideways. Even from out the window as well, it looked like they were just both trying to go for the same space, but it happens. Luckily though, they both continue, and they've both actually not lost that much time from that either. I mean, Knight may have lost the position, but he's still within touching distance, and if he just plays this smart and gets back in the slipstream, he could be straight into this fight and having a go at Weston, who, to be fair, is doing an amazing job holding on to third. We're on the final lap now, Scott.
We are. Timer has hit 0, and we look back to our leads in a second. Joseph Loke has resisted the pressure from Will Orton all race, but he has kept him a lot closer than he was last time, because in both races at Cadwell, he won by about 12 or 13 seconds. This time, though, Will Orton's pace has really stepped up, but this is the main fight for third we can see here. Weston has it. Triggs and Knight still have a possible chance to try and snatch it if they can. It is nose to tail for third, fourth and fifth. They're all going to get their personal best results, and someone's going to get their first podium as well. But up through Woodcote for the final time and up towards the checkered flag. It is the perfect score so far. 3 from 3 for Joseph Loke, the last year's vice champion. Flashes the headlights in celebration. He wins race 1 of the day in the BRSCC Fiesta Junior Championship racing with MRF tyres. A brilliant second place for Will Orton. And for third place, what a way to debut in the championship. Jake Weston makes it 2 race car consultants cars on the podium, 3 in the top 5, because of course it's third for Jake Weston, 4th for Jake Triggs. Then it's 5th for Joseph Knight, personal best result for him. It is 6th for Dylan Hotchin. He was a bit on his own in that race, but still a solid result for him nonetheless. 7th for Albert Webster, 8th for Jensen Brickley. Then it's 9th for Sid Smith. Bradley Beavers with the penalty ends up 10th. Alex Lee's 11th. And then there was a good little battle towards the end that closed up between these 3, George Davis and then Alex Sprange in the white and green car, and then Mitch Marie there in the Misty Racing Run machine, which is the ex-Danny Harrison car, if I'm correct, finishing in 14th place. Then just one more car to head through is just Bryony Davis. And she's been running nice and flawlessly in this run, just learning at her own pace at the back, and she will come across the line. So, all 15 started. You can count all 15 back home again. That is what we wanted to see. Joseph Loke makes it 3 from 3 in the championship so far, but he only wins this time by just over a second, so Will Orton and Pack have closed up a bit more. Jake Weston, first weekend of the championship, first podium, which is great to see. Jake Triggs finishes 4th, personal best for him and Joseph Knight. Dylan Hotchin finishes in 6th, Albert Webster 7th, Jensen Brickley 8th, Sid Smith 9th, and Bradley Beavers, after his penalty for the false start, rounds out the top 10. Then Alex Lee on his first weekend gets 11th. Then it's George Davis, Alex Sprange, Mitch Marie, and Bryony Davis rounds out all 15 finishers. Well, apart from 1 or 2 tiny little taps, I have to say that was really beautiful, sublime, clean racing from the juniors, and just shows that, you know, these guys have got great racecraft. It might need to be their first few races in cars, but they're using all the lessons they've learned from karting and from short ovals, even for some cases, if they're using it on the sim as well.
Yeah.
Putting it to good use and putting on a brilliant display there, hopefully for the live stream. And I hope you all enjoyed it as well. And if there's any young karters that are watching on the Alpha live stream, or even on the BRSCC Facebook, or short oval races, or even junior races full stop that want to give this a try, we'll give you a bit more info on that in a second. We're going to have a bit of an interview with Laura Payne very shortly, a bit of a feature on the championship, as we have a qualifying session coming up. But top 3 are in Parc Ferme, and of course you can see them lined up in basically podium formation. But the car in the middle there is your race winner, championship leader Joseph Loke, and he will have a word with Bryn Lucas, as will Will Orton and Jake Weston, and then we have a chat with Bryn very shortly. This is Joseph Loke trying to clamber himself out of the car. So as the drivers clamber out, let's hand back over to Bryn to have a chat with our junior racing stars. A third win of the season, and 3 out of 3 for Joseph Loke.
Thank you very much there, gents. So Chaz and Scott talking through that. As they say, I am going to be talking to Laura Payne about the Fiesta Junior Championship very, very soon. But it's gracefully trying to get out of the car there from Joseph Loke. I'm sure somebody dinked my car by smashing their car door into my car a little bit like that, you know, in a car park recently. But we won't go into detail about that one because, you know, I've let it go. Right, let's grab the drivers. We're just going to get the face masks on. Of course, COVID-19, these restrictions do make it somewhat tricky. But Joseph Loke, once he's got his mask on, we'll get him into position. If you come here for us, Joseph, that'd be great. Thank you very much. And Talk us through it, because from the outside looking in, you had control of that one from start to finish.
It was closer than what I was wanting. Yeah, tricky race. I was pushing all out all the way through, but yeah, happy with the result. Obviously, P1, I can't really ask for more. So yeah, happy.
What was it like out on track? It's getting a bit warmer now, so the track temperature's starting to come up. So from the races earlier on, we're going to see a bit more grip coming to the cars.
Yeah, more grip at the start, but then the tyres were just going off. I think probably lap 6, my tyres were just completely gone. I was just hoping it would, stick. So it was a good race. I mean, the tyres going off probably did hinder me a bit, but yeah, it was good.
But you managed to control it. Now, people looking into the Fiesta Junior Championships, they'll be looking at you guys thinking they're so young. How do they have such good car control, such good feel? Where did it all start for you?
I started in karting at 10, just as a bit of fun. But then we realised I was at the front most races, stuff like that. So we decided to look at more competitive stuff. We went into a bit more competitive karting. We didn't do too well, but it was just a nice insight to, competitive motorsport. And then at the Autosport show, we came across Fiesta Juniors, and it was just exactly what we were looking for. So.
And of course, with the current conditions we're in with COVID-19, it does present some unusual racing conditions, particularly with the fact you've got to wear a face mask now and things as well. But when you come into motorsport, that's not something you look at, but you look to the championships, you look to the organisation. How is it coming into something like this? How well organised is it?
Very well. There's not really many words to explain how professional it all is run. It's everything. It feels as if it's a professional race weekend, as it should really. But yeah, it's really good.
And you've got the pace and you've got the car. So where's the limit? Are you aiming for the very, very top?
I've always said there's no limit. You can always keep improving. There's always time to find. There's always parts of your racing to improve. So I don't think there is a limit to the capacity of driving.
Well, it was a fantastic performance. Well done.
Thank you.
A great win. Thank you very much there to our race winner, Joe. So let's get our second place driver in now. We're going to catch up with all three. And as I say, we will be bringing you a little interview with Laura Payne as well. So here we go, William Alton. That was a very, very good performance from you.
Yeah, we made a good start, which is something I wanted to work on from Cadwell. Unfortunately, just dropped off a little bit mid-race. I was starting to come back a bit at the end, but just wasn't enough time.
Was it a tyre problem for you?
No, it's just a simple driver error. But no, the car was faultless all race.
You mentioned Cadwell Park there at the start. So have you been able to work on this, or is it something that you can only do when you come to a race condition because you can't put yourself back into that position until you're out on that grid?
It's one of them. It's hard to replicate, but we went to Blighton Park in between rounds, did a few practices, and I feel like I've started to get a bit better at them, and hopefully can carry them on.
Yeah, well, it was a really nice race to watch, and then from where you were, it was quite all right, but behind you, they were all fighting. Did you have much of an idea of that?
No, I was too busy focusing on the car in front, trying to catch up after my little mistake. And, yeah.
Well, second place, well done.
Thank you.
There you go, we've got our second place driver. Let's move to our third and final driver from the grid. If we grab him into position, here he comes right now. And I'm pretty sure Jake will be feeling quite happy about that. Jake, just tell us a bit about what happened for you off the start.
Yeah, it was a pretty good start. Just jumped into third and passed Joseph Knight into the first corner, and really didn't have any threats throughout the race, so just kept third place.
And you had a lot going on around you, and you had to work very, very hard, didn't you?
Yeah, I could definitely see that they were catching on to me and trying to make a move, but I think my defending skills were good enough and didn't get past. So.
When you're defending, you have to think of different lines of taking into the corners as well, but how much are you trying to focus on getting to second, or are you just considering all I want to do is keep third all the way through that race?
Yeah, you have to change your lines, and well, you still got to get a good run out the corner, because even if you do change your line, they could get a better run down the straight. And second place was just too far ahead, so I thought I'd focus on my place rather than try and catch up with them and maybe lose a place. So.
It was really, really impressive race management, because you don't expect to see such good race management from someone of your age without trying to sound too condescending and patronising.
Yeah, well, I've been brought up on karting, so I've learnt my racecraft and skills through that, and it's gone into cars.
I was wondering where the limit is for you guys. Is it the sky the limit? You can go into what British touring car? Are you going to think of world endurance racing? Where are you going?
I'd really like to go into touring car and endurance racing. It depends which opportunity I get and if I do get there. So.
Well, you've got some of the tools you need then. Well done, third place.
Thank you.
There you go. So maybe we'll see him at Le Mans in a few years' time doing WEC. Who knows, who knows. But to find out more a little bit about this championship, we've got Laura Payne here. Laura's going to come in and she coordinates the Fiesta Juniors. Now, first of all, Laura, thank you very much for joining.
Thank you. Hi.
Now, we've just seen some pretty impressive racing from the juniors. They have got heads on their shoulders that are way beyond their years.
Yeah, they have, definitely. I'm so proud of how well they're all doing. It's only their second race weekend this season, so they're doing an amazing job, yeah.
So tell us a bit about the championships. What is the Fiesta Juniors for those who don't know?
We're a one-make series for 14 to 17-year-olds. We run alongside the senior championship as well. You can go into the senior championship afterwards. We do 8 rounds, normally 8 rounds in a season, lots of different tracks around the country.
Now, one of the drivers just telling me how professional the setup it is really when it comes to the organisation. Now, that's your little thing, isn't it really? That's what you're in charge of.
Yeah, that is what I'm in charge of. That's really kind of them to say. So I'm the coordinator. It's my job to make sure everything runs smoothly, make sure everyone knows what they're doing, keep them in track. And I've definitely led the campaign for the promotion of the championship as well. So.
Yeah. Now, the age group is 14 to 17.
Yeah, 14 to 17, yes.
So what sort of drivers do we see coming through this series? Is it drivers that are looking to move into racing as a professional career move maybe, or just people that are looking to get a bit more experience on the grid?
We have a range, to be honest. I mean, we've got lots of drivers. We've got 14 new drivers this season, and they've come from a variety of backgrounds. Some have come from karting, stock cars, some have done nothing at all. And then, yeah, we want to help them learn, support them through the process, and hopefully see them move on up into different championships as they get older as well, yeah.
And of course they can stay in Fiestas too, because they can just make a couple of tweaks to their car and it can move on up.
They can, yeah, they can go into the senior championship with a few tweaks, yeah, and most of our drivers do go through the seniors, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, we do see a lot of the drivers staying in the Fiestas. What makes the Fiestas so exciting?
Well, the car's a fantastic car, and we have a family atmosphere in our paddock and a supportive atmosphere, and we like to promote that. All of our drivers are such good friends. They stay in touch, they move up together.
Talking about some of the other drivers, we see some of the drivers that have raced in Fiesta Juniors go on to the top level of elite British sport, like Aidan Moffat, Ash Sutton, people like that have raced in Fiesta Juniors, and you know, Ash Sutton was British touring car champion, so you know, it is a very good training ground for them.
Yeah, it is, thank you, and we do see people move up into touring cars. Hopefully some of these guys will be in touring cars at some point, and yeah, people like Bobby Thompson as well. He's still in our paddock, he's helping our drivers today, so it's great that they stay around.
Yeah. So the cars themselves, what can we say about these cars? They're quite nippy, aren't they?
They are. Yeah, it's a ST150, 2 litre. It has junior spec on it. It's got the same suspension as touring cars as well. They are restricted to 100 mile an hour, but at 14, that's amazing.
Yeah, but especially it's how quickly they get to 100 miles per hour as well, because I think they're 175 brake horsepower or something, and they're very lightweight.
Yes, yeah, they are. They're fantastic cars. Yeah, very safe as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, the championship has really grown in recent years, and I'm not going to say it's all down to you, but it is partly because of you, isn't it? So the grid sizes are growing, and we've seen some really good turnouts over the last few rounds, particularly this year as well. But what about next year, 2021? Hopefully 2021 will be a normal year and we'll be able to take the face masks off and get out on track like normal. But, even if not, what have you got planned?
We've got lots planned for next year. I'm hoping for an even bigger grid next year. I mean, lots of our drivers are already saying that they're going to move up to next year. So looking at a bigger grid, we're going to run taster days, media days, etc. Lots in the pipeline, yeah.
And it's going to be trickier as well, because with the current climate, it might mean that there are no ways to have things like Autosport International might not happen. So therefore, it's hard for you to reach the potential audience. But this is a championship that people should have their eyes on, because it's a great training ground. It's a great proving ground. They can move their way up as well. But what about people that are looking at this championship and think, well, I'd love to race, but I don't know how to get the license. What license do I need? Where do they go? Can they come straight to you?
They can come straight to us, yeah. We help them and support them through the process. So if they've done nothing, they don't know how to go about it, they can contact us. through the BRSCC website, and we will support them through that process and show them where to go and what to do.
Yeah, I was going to say, how can I get involved? But I know you just tell me that I'm way too old, which I don't want to. I'll take that bullet for you. So if anybody does want to find out more, because obviously you can't come to tracks at the moment and meet up with people like you, but where can they go?
They can go to the BRSCC website and Facebook and Instagram pages.
Yeah, and on there, I think the most most up-to-date information is on there.
Yeah, brscc.co.uk is the most up-to-date website, yeah.
Lovely, Laura. Thank you very much indeed. There. So if you want to find out more, thank you, Laura. If you want to find out more about the Fiesta Junior Championships and Fiesta Juniors and the opportunities, how to get the licenses, what license you need, where they race, bit about the cars as well. You want to get in touch with Laura, why not? She's a lovely lady. Just go to the BRSCC website where you'll find all the latest details, the most up-to-date. Now, we have got a slight hiatus here at the moment. Qualifying for another championship is currently going on, but it's been red flagged, so we're just having a little bit of a delay. But we have got the Fiestas up again, this time not the juniors, the regular size chaps. They're going to be coming up next, and well, they always go guns out. And one man who's going to be racing in that one is Paul O'Neill. We've seen him race and win in British touring cars. He's going to be out in the Fiestas very, very soon. Not sure how long that'll be, but when we get to it, Scott and Chaz will be here. So the next race coming up very, very soon for you, live here from the Silverstone National Circuit in the lovely rolling countryside of Northamptonshire. We have for you coming up the Fiesta Championship.